All right, so I've decided to make a decision here. We have maybe 3/4 of an inch ice on the pond right now. The weather forecast is calling for heavy, wet snow 24 hours from now. What 6 inches of heavy, wet snow would do on 3/4 of an inch of ice would potentially ruin the ice fishing season for the year, because heavy, wet snow on weak, thin ice is just gonna sag the whole ice sheet. It would be slushy, sloppy the whole year, and it would be insulated, and even cold weather would have a hard time making solid ice again. And so I'm going to turn the aerators on. I had the well pump going, pumping 50-degree water in. That opened up this section over here. I'm gonna turn the aerators back on and pump some of the 38-degree water from the bottom up to the surface, and hopefully eat away this ice over the next 24 hours, so that when it snows onto liquid, melting, and then hopefully start over again. This will be the 3rd time trying to freeze the pond, but hopefully to salvage any ice season, give this a shot. And what this is going to do, it's going to pump oxygen up, and those air bubbles are going to find the path of least resistance and melt the hole, open up the center of the ice. Hopefully, my plan is to do as much melting of this ice in the next 24 hours. All right, so you can see already this one, those air bubbles popped a hole in the surface, and now it's pumping that water on top of the ice. The air bubbles creating a pocket, actually pushing the ice up. And as soon as it pops a hole in that thin ice, water's gonna seep onto the surface of the ice. Same with the one in the middle and the one all the way out there. All right, so I got all the diffusers working. And that far one, all right, well, it's my attempt to try to save the ice fishing season. And through the magic of video editing, this is 24 hours later, pointing at the little bit of skim ice that's still remaining after 24 hours of the aerator going, circulating all of the water. And it did what I hoped it would do. And now I hope that I didn't super cool the fish. I don't think after 24 hours the whole water column is going to decrease too much to hurt the fish. But now with the wind blowing, I had to do a voiceover because it was too windy outside. It was a terrible audio experience. So 24 hours later, let the snow fly. So midway through the snow event, the water's still open, but then after about 10 inches of snow, the whole pond is slush. So I turned the aerators back on, opened the holes up again. This is the middle of the night, and then the next morning we had open water still out in the middle of the pond. And I'm hoping that that freezes solid out there and we get good solid ice out there in the middle. But now the long range forecast is calling for 6 more inches of snow before it gets cold. And it's just really hard to play weatherman and manipulate your pond environment. So I think I'm just going to let it go and let the ice form where it may. So winter arrived late this year. We had 50 degrees and rain on Christmas, but here the second week of January, in between 2 major snowfalls, the white blanket of snow on the ground, so pretty. Had this little 8-point buck walk through the backyard, which was kind of fun. Okay, so it is snowing something crazy. Got 2.5 foot drifts on the back deck. There was no snow anywhere 4 days ago, and now we're pushing 20 inches here. So after all of our attempts to try to save the ice fishing season, this is what the pond looks like after most of the snowfall over the last 4 days. We're just going to have to see how it shapes up. But we've got cold temperatures coming, so that's going to be in our favor. We're right here, Friday night, January 12th. I just want to focus your attention on this purple line right here. And that's the feels like line. Run my mouse along here. We're going to feel like -16 tomorrow, and it's not going to get above the feels like -16 mark until, goodness, next Wednesday. We're looking at 4 days of a feels like -16 or more. That's going to put on some ice regardless of how much snow is on the pond, and so check back next week and I'll show you just how much ice did form on the pond. We'll see you next time.